My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is giving grace. Are you giving yourself grace? Are you giving the people in the river of your life grace? Are you giving someone you're in a disagreement with some grace in this place, allowing them to be human and to make mistakes? I recently had somebody in the river of my life give me grace, and I'm humbled by it. I also received grace. I've had many interactions with grace in the past few weeks. I had, a few weeks ago, there's a gentleman that I've been talking about in these videos. My friend Rodders was like, tell him he's a knob and then he'll probably want to date you. And I was like, he's silly. I was like, actually, I've always just wanted to get to know him and be sweet to him. And sometimes I'm kind of cold. I don't give him the grace of being kind, But I don't really get a sense and have not gotten a sense that this person is interested, because I have given him more opportunity to connect with me, and he doesn't really act as if that's an opportunity to get to connect. And so, message received, But a few weeks ago, I was given this grace in which I had this recognition, because I've been physically, mentally, and emotionally attracted to him. I've been physically attracted to him from the second I laid eyes on him, but mentally and emotionally attracted to him as I've watched how he interacts with others and what he studies and thinks and things like that. And I had this realization a few weeks ago of like, I don't know who he is spiritually. I don't know what his character is in relationship to people. I'm just seeing a slice of this man. And granted, I like very much what I see. And this is one of the challenges of Heather Feather. I can be like, ooh, like, And I am a lot of things. I've developed a lot of things in my being. I always have growth work to do. And there are aspects of my character I'm not on any level interested in having a relationship with any being. I don't care how sexy, how beautiful and delicious and stylish and handsome or attractive they are. I don't care how intelligent they are or how empathetic they are. There are other slices aside from those things that I require to be present to be in relationship. One of them is humor. I don't want to have such a serious, severe relationship that I'm not laughing like a clown on my way to the grave. I am a silly goose. I'm trying to clown around down here. I'm trying to have a fun time. I'm trying to get some giggles and laughs in. And it's difficult to do when you're hanging out with a really severe energy. Now, this person could be very funny, but I don't know them really. So I had this dawning realization that I don't know this person. I don't know if they're a goofy clown. I don't know if they're deeply spiritual. I know that I am. I know that I connect to spirit every day of my life. I know that spirituality is something I've focused on and developed my entire life. And I see in the 4 quadrants of being, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, that is a slice of my being that is a massive part of who I be and what I think and so not only do I seek to fully share all of Heather Feather, not just her body, but also her mind and her heart and her spirit with another, I seek to love the body, mind, heart, and spirit of another, and I seek to know those things about a lover. And so this grace descended upon me in which I was like, I don't know this guy. I just think it'd be real hot if we I could really see myself holding that man's hand. I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating crackers, And props to Jimmy on that one. And I don't, so it's like all of a sudden I had this calm and this peace. And I've been building in this celibacy and building up towards Valentine's Day to continue to just romance myself. I'm listening to a lot more love songs. I'm playing love songs for myself, when I'm cooking, and skipping songs that aren't love songs as I romance myself, because I do have physical, mental, emotional, spiritual development I've been doing in this life, and I love me and I like me, and I'm an amazing partner to myself. And although I would like to have a divine partner that's equally yoked, I don't know who that person is. And so I don't want to overly insert myself into a pathway or an idea that I don't know what it holds. I want to just remain open, opening up. And so there was a woman that I had the opportunity to date, and I wasn't my best self with her, and I lost the opportunity, which is sad because she's very beautiful and eclectic and funky and fun and funny and really interesting and extremely intelligent and very well read. And we went on a couple of dates, and I just kind of freaked out because it was the anniversary of my brother's death. And I got in a state of emotional overwhelm. I was working, I was teaching, and when I grieve, I tend to want to withdraw. And so I did not expect the anniversary of his death to affect me so deeply. I love my brother deeply. I love Braxton very, very deeply. He was a great brother. He was very sweet. He was always very loving to me and always very supportive. He's a wonderful man and everyone loved him. It's not that. It's just that I've had so much death and I commune with the dead all the time. And so I'm always surprised when I grieve because it's like, I know death isn't a thing. I talk to the dead all the time. I was just talking to dead people just a minute ago. Why would I grieve? And grief is still necessary. And the grief hit me like a wave. And I have had so much grief. And I have so much heart and so much emotion. Heather is an ocean of emotion. Trust, I may be a few oceans of emotion. And it just felt like too much to pour into this beautiful woman's cup to just have been on 2 dates with her to then be like, I'm freaking out. And so I just left her an audio message saying like, I'm sorry, I'm deeply overwhelmed right now and you deserve better. And so I thought I was ready to date. I guess I'm not. I'm very sorry. And that was kind of screwed up. It was kind of rude because I didn't have a conversation with her. I was, I think, possibly open to possibility, but couldn't see it. I don't know if that's true because I'm not there right now. But I could have had a conversation with her and just been like, I feel like I'm a lot right now because I'm grieving and I feel sad and angry and all these emotions that you can find in Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's writings, one of the foremost experts of grief. I'm having this surge of emotion and I don't want to pour that into your cup. And so I didn't have dialogue with her. I just left her an audio message like, I'm freaking out and bless you, you should have more than what I can offer right now. And that was rude and she deserved better by me. And so she gave me a grace recently in which she let me meet up with her, even though I missed this opportunity. I gave us the grace of some space and I contacted her recently and just said like, hey, if there's any chance you'll let me clean this up. I offered it right after I did the rude thing, but she didn't want any of it, understandably, because it was rude. But I gave us several months and then reached out again and was like, hey, I'll lose your number. I'll disconnect from you on social media, whatever you want. But I wanted to give us one more opportunity. If you would please just let me explain, like, I'm sorry. I really want to apologize to you. I want to show up and be better for you. Like, I may have lost the chance to hold her hand, but at least I could be a better person and offer her more and find some way anyway to make it up. And she gave me the grace of letting me come and meet up with her. And it was I had a wonderful time with her. She's so fun. I forgot how fun and funny she was. And I'm able to meet her in a different space since I'm not mired in that grief right now. And no one's died in the previous month. And so, but I was able to own several things with her. I had made a video around the same time when I had just started dating her called Out of My League. Because there was a person in the river of my life that I had thought was out of my league. Sometimes I think that way because I don't recognize often the magnitude of the woman that I am and all that I've become and all that I'm capable of offering. Doesn't mean I'm a saint. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it all perfectly right. Does mean, though, that I am the content of character that is always looking to do better. And I have much to offer. I have a bunch to offer. And it's okay for me to get real and get right and get honest with myself. Can you give yourself the grace of understanding the truth of your character? Most of these two-leggeds out here in this world, friends, are amazing souls. They're beautiful souls. They're beautiful humans. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful humans are what I witness every day of my life. And so can you give yourself a grace in knowing the beauty of who you be in this place, knowing a greater truth of who you be? But I had made this video called Out of My League because this person that, before this grace descended upon me recently, that I had been so taken with because I thought, oh, if only I could hold that man's hand, I think I'd be happy forever. What a cutie, like he's all the things. He's adventuresome and intelligent and, loves kids, obviously. And wow. And when I made that video, she did something that I love. I want communication to be wide open. I want to talk about everything. And she mentioned the video. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, that person's out of your league. And I was like, yeah, don't worry about it, though. They're out of my league, so it doesn't matter. If you don't believe it, you can't perceive it. So he and I will probably never cross paths in that way. But I apologize to her for that, too, because even though I'm single and she and I weren't in a relationship and me and this guy have never had anything, we haven't even had the opportunity to really build a friendship together. I don't like to have my attention ever with two people. And so, I apologize for that. It was like, I think I probably had some attention and energy with him still and was not ready to date for that reason as well. I also wasn't quite sure. I've dated a lot more men than women in this life. And although I've had great interactions with women for the most part, they can be a little complicated. I often don't feel permission to, and I was telling her too, like, I'm sorry because I also felt anxious dating you. I didn't know if you were interested. I didn't know if I could hold your hand. I didn't know. Oh, like, what are we doing? Do you want to date? Do you want me to put my arm around you? What are we doing? Like Heather I get a little nervous sometimes. And so I was just able to apologize for several things, but she gave me the grace and the gateway to be able to come in and apologize for those things. I gave us the grace of some space. Do you give grace of space in your relationships? A man that I dated a couple of years ago, he would talk about grace a lot. It's one of the things I really loved about him. And I believe this. In relationships, you should give both parties grace. I have a friend that did something once that upset me, and I was talking to my other friend about it. And I haven't talked to him about it yet because I want to give him grace. He doesn't have to be perfect with me. I'm the one having the upset. You know what I mean? That's for me to resolve. I don't necessarily have to clean it up with him. Can I resolve it inside myself? Can I give him grace? Can I let him be human? And I think that's something we should do in all of our relationships, our friendships, our familial relationships, our romantic relationships. Can you allow your partner, your beloved, your sibling, your whoever, can you allow them to be human and not get it perfectly right all the time? Can you allow yourself to be human and to not get it perfectly right all the time? I was telling my friend who was visiting this weekend, there's this place, this cafe I go where this gent is, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to go there anymore, because I don't know that my attention is a grace in the space. And I like for my attention to be a grace in any space it goes into, because I'm constantly praying, and I actually am offering grace with my attention and awareness. And I don't think I'm going to go there. And she was like, wait, why? And I was like, well, I really like going there. And she's like, wait, really, why though? If you like going there, why wouldn't you go there? And it's like, well, I just don't know that my attention is wanted there. And she said, Heather, just because your eyes look on things and like and appreciate them, that's not a burden. It's not a problem. And you're kind of babying another person to not give them the opportunity to tell you if they want you. Like, hey, they can say, hey, don't look at me. It's like people have a throat chakra and they can speak up too, and they can let you know, but don't preemptively decide that you're being a problem just because you're being a human. So do you give yourself the grace of being a human? Are you allowed to have XYZ attraction? Are you allowed to go to XYZ location? Are you free and sovereign in your movements and in your interactions? Are you imprisoning yourself in any way? Or do you give yourself grace for how you actually feel, what you actually think, what you actually want? Do you ever experience divine grace like I've experienced with this gent, where it was like, oh, I'm making up that this is what I want. I don't even know what this is. I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to romance myself. Do you ever get a divine grace that descends upon you? Do you ever give others in the river of your life a grace like this beautiful woman has given to me? Although I lost the opportunity to hold her sweet hand, she's given me the grace to be better with her, which is so humbling, and I'm deeply grateful for it, and she's deeply worthy of it. Do you ever give other people's grace, other people in the river of your life grace to clean it up? I'm also, talking to my friend Kristen, trying to give myself grace as far as what I'm doing next. What is next for Heather Feather? I keep wanting to manifest the college in 1 to 3 years. I've worked really hard to get my credit score where it is and to beef that up and to get a relationship with money like I have today. And since I'm about to be able to retire in November, I'm like, I just got to build the college in 1 to 3 years. But my friend Kristen was like, Heather, you're 49. Like, you also want to travel the world. Don't you want to travel the world while you have your youth? Do you want to wait till you replace a hip or a knee? Why not take your annuity and travel the world for a decade and, work part-time or whatever and save money for the college to put down on the land and the property for the college, but build the college when you're 60, not when you're 50. And I realize I'm the only one putting pressure on myself. I'm not giving myself grace to design it in the timeline that works for Heather Feather. If I'm the one making it, aren't I setting the schedule? Where in your life can you apply grace to yourself and to others in the river of your life? You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube. Like and comment there. I always love your thoughts. Amun.